Are you sick of always hearing, just think positive every time you try to manifest something? Because let's be honest, when you're going after a result you've never had before, you are usually full of doubt. And forcing yourself to stay positive feels impossible. Today, I'm going to show you how I manifested my entire vision board, which felt completely out of reach, and while I was still dealing with a ton of doubt. No toxic positivity, no perfect mindset, just the real process I used to get real results, even when my belief was messy. So stick with me, because by the end, you'll know exactly what to do when your brain says, yeah, right, and how to move forward anyway. Okay, let's dive in. If we haven't met before, welcome. I'm Mariah. I'm the owner and creative director of a luxury branding agency, and I'm a mindset coach for women in business. On this channel, I talk about what it actually takes to create a life that feels expansive, aligned, and wildly different from where you might be standing right now. We talk about money, identity, growth, and becoming the version of you who can hold more, including a luxury brand, without pretending it's easy or linear. So if that's the kind of content you want more of, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll teach you how to think differently, move differently, and create results that once felt impossible. Now, let me take you back. When manifesting felt laughable, my life before. Years ago, my life felt tight, not simple, not quiet, tight, like everything was happening inside a box that kept getting smaller. And I was constantly folding myself in half just to fit. I was in an abusive marriage. And if you know, you know, and I'm sorry you do. It's the slow loss of your own voice, the constant self-editing, the way you shrink yourself so things don't explode. Money worries were always buzzing in the back of my brain. Winter would start creeping in and I'd lie awake doing the math in my head, counting bills, subtracting expenses, wondering if the heat was going to be one more thing we couldn't afford. And my apartment matched my energy. Dank, dingy, and cheap. A plethora of unsavory neighbors, not to mention the mice that infested my kitchen. I was just surviving, and it wasn't pretty. And I want to say this clearly. There's zero shame in that. I am proud of that version of me. She was resourceful. She was resilient. She was doing the best she could. But underneath all of that, there was this quiet ache, a whisper that said, this can't be it. And that's where the next chapter begins. The vision board that felt absolutely delusional. One day, without confidence, without a plan, without believing it would actually happen, I made a vision board, and not a vague one, a very specific one. I included everything that I wanted, everything that would take me away from my current reality, including a successful business making $100,000 a year. I remember looking at that number and thinking, who do I think I am? That number felt absurd, like something meant for other people. I also added a white BMW SUV, not a nice car, a white BMW SUV. And I added a photo of a Louis Vuitton handbag, just one. And even that felt miles away. I added images of luxury cruise vacations with my family, not just vacation, not just travel, luxury cruises, the kind that felt elegant, slow, expansive. A completely different world than the one I was living in. I added images of clothes I love, expensive clothing that fit beautifully, not the thrift store finds I was buying out of necessity. And I added an image of a newly built home, bright, open, modern. I even screenshot the floor plan and added it. Wide spaces, natural light, a flow that felt calm and safe. Here's the part that matters most. When I made that vision board, I didn't actually believe I'd live that life. Not really. I didn't know how I'd get there. I didn't know who I'd have to become. I didn't see a bridge between where I was and what I was pinning. I just let myself want it. And that's important because wanting comes before believing. How I manifested my entire vision board. Fast forward to the end of last year. I was sitting down, reflecting on my life and my business, not in a dramatic way, just taking inventory. And slowly, one realization after another landed. I had manifested my entire vision board, not symbolically, literally. I crossed the $100,000 mark years ago, and last year my business brought in $300,000. I drive a white BMW SUV. I don't own one Louis Vuitton bag, I have a whole collection. My family and I don't just take vacations, we go on the bougiest luxury cruise vacays, the exact kind I pinned. And we even take private jets to get there, which just sounds so surreal when I say it out loud. My closet is full of clothes I love and individual pieces that cost more than I used to spend on clothing for an entire year. And the house. We built our dream house a few years ago. And one day it hit me. The layout is almost identical to what I added to my vision board all those years ago. The vibe was exactly the same. It wasn't sort of the same, it was exact. Which brings me to the part that surprises most people. The law of attraction without perfect belief. I didn't manifest this because I believed perfectly. I manifested this while doubting, while questioning myself, while thinking this is so out of reach, while having absolutely no idea how it would happen. And if you're sitting there right now wanting more but feeling stuck in your current reality, I want to talk to you for a second. If your brain immediately jumps in with reasons why it's not possible for you, if dreaming feels irresponsible, if you think you need the how before you're allowed the desire, my coach once called this how greed, that obsession with needing certainty before you're allowed to want the results. And that belief keeps people trapped because it was never my job to know how. My job was to keep choosing forward. And that's where things began to shift. How manifesting actually started working for me. Books were the first crack in the wall. Not one book, a whole season of reading. I read books that showed me other lives existed, other realities were possible, other ways of relating to money, desire, and identity were available. Abraham Hicks helped me understand that desire wasn't bad. Joseph Murphy helped me see how deeply my subconscious was shaping my reality. Jen Sincero normalized wealth in a way that felt playful instead of intimidating. Benjamin Hardy introduced me to my future self, not as a fantasy, but as something you practice. There were many, many more. I'll link my favorite books for manifesting below if you want to check them out. And real quick, I'm always looking for my next read. So if you have a favorite manifestation or mindset book not listed below, leave me a comment and let me know what it is. I would love to check it out. These books absolutely introduced me to a whole new reality. But here's the truth. Reading opened the door, but it was coaching that changed my life. Becoming the woman who could hold the life. Hiring my life coach wasn't a confident decision. It was a courageous one. I wasn't ready. I wasn't certain, but I was willing. Willing to try anything. And that willingness changed everything. Because manifestation isn't about getting things. It's about becoming someone new. The version of you were always meant to be. I had to become a woman who could hold safety, who could hold money, who could hold joy, who could hold expansion. That meant leaving my marriage. That meant rebuilding my life. That meant years of mindset work. That meant choosing discomfort that aligned with growth. And it didn't happen overnight, but it did happen because I kept choosing her. If you're done manifesting in theory and ready to start living your future self, my coaching membership, Super Bloom Coach Society, is where that happens. Inside, we focus on identity shifts that allow you to 10x your business, expand your income, and make decisions from power instead of fear. This is for the woman who knows she's capable of more and is finally ready to stop waiting for permission. You'll find the link below. I'd love to welcome you inside. And this is where it all starts to come together, because this month inside of Super Bloom Coach Society, we're doing deep future self work, not visualization for fun, but learning how to actually live as her now, how to make decisions from that identity, how to move through doubt without letting it stop you, how to stop waiting for permission and start trusting yourself in real time. And once you start doing that work, the question naturally becomes, okay, but how do I close the gap between who I am today and who I'm becoming? That's exactly what I explore in this next video, Manifesting with Mirror Work, a live breakdown with Natanya Bravo. In this conversation, Natanya and I go way beyond affirmations and into what actually happens when you look yourself in the eyes and start rewiring your identity in real time. When resistance shows up, when your nervous system pushes back, and how to stay with yourself instead of backing off. If you've ever thought, I know what I want, but something in me doesn't fully trust that I get to have it yet, that video is the missing piece. The link's in the description. Go watch that next, because this is where manifestation stops being conceptual and starts becoming embodied. I'll meet you over there.